Hello everyone, my name is Loco and welcome to a new Hearthstone video. Today we're actually going to discuss a really strong basic hunter deck. In this specific video I'm going to discuss why it is so strong currently, what makes the hunter a very good class to actually start off with when you just get Hearthstone, and what a specific deck is to actually start running around with and try and beat your opponents and whatnot. So, considering you're watching this video, you've probably got Hearthstone, right? You're probably in the beta, you're trying out a few things, and you've noticed, okay, hunters, they are using a lot of beasts. Now, this is also where this build actually specializes in. We're going to cover a lot of cards that are actually going to be with a beast attribute. The beast attribute basically means that they are a beast, as you might have guessed already, but also that they're synergized very well. There are a bunch of cards, for example, a bunch of spells that actually give all your beasts a certain bonus. For example, the Timberwolf, which is one of the cards that we're definitely gonna put in the deck, it gives all the other beasts that are out on the board right now +1 extra attack, which is obviously very nice, and there's a bunch of examples in the game for that. Now the beast that we are going to cover in this specific video is actually going to be relatively low mana. We're not going to cover like the really high silver main whatnots. We're really just going to focus on the low mana cost cards. The reason for this is because the main card in the hunter deck, actually in most hunter decks right now, is a card called Release the Hounds. Basically what we're gonna try and do is save up a bunch of mana, play a whole lot of cards on the board that synergize together, so a whole lot of beasts, then play Unleash the Hounds, which basically wakes up those beasts and allow you to attack with them right away. Which sometimes means that you can just straight up nuke down your opponent after killing any taunts that he has out on the board, or at least do so in the second turn that you're attacking with those minions. Now, Unleash the Beast is going to be absolutely crucial for that, so you're gonna have to have that card. But to survive the earlier part of the game, we're actually gonna save up mana, you know, because you need to get like 6, 7, 8 mana out in order to actually play all these cards at the same time. We're actually going to wait and do this with spell cards. Now there's gonna be really two types of spell cards that we're gonna use. First of all, we're gonna use control cards, which basically control the board. We can't really have our opponent, you know, just sit back for 8 turns and try and do damage to us. So we're gonna try and basically just control the deck as much as we can with all kinds of secrets and other spells. The second type of cards that we're gonna get from the spell department are going to be cards that actually draw more cards. For example, you know, Flare. Flare is actually there to reveal all your enemy's secrets, but also to draw an extra card, which can come handy whenever you play like Hunter versus Hunter. Because you know, whenever you're playing a Hunter versus Hunter and your opponent actually has a lot of secrets ready and one of them is an explosive trap, you really need to be aware of that before you start playing all your beasts on the board, because he will basically just kill them straight up. So in the early game, we're going to control the board with a lot of spells. We're going to use spells that actually draw more cards, and third, we're going to play a lot of beasts to play Unleash the Hounds with. Now keep in mind, I'm not going to give you a super solid build. You're probably going to have to adjust a few things, just because, you know, everyone has his own playstyle. I am going to give you a very solid deck, however, but like I said, you're going to have to supplement where you want to. Now let's jump straight into the deck builder so we can actually go over the cards that you should really have in this specific hunter deck. Okay, so let's get actually started with building this deck. So first of all, we're going to go to my collection, and then we're going to click the new deck button. Here we go, we're going to pick the hunter, because obviously it is a hunter deck. And here we go, let's name this one Beastmastery, because obviously we're going to put a lot of beasts in there. Now first and foremost, we're going to put the most important card in there, which is Unleash the Beast. As you can see, this card actually gives your beast +1 attack and charge. Now the charge thing is really the most important part. Now first of all, we're gonna add the cards that are really crucial to this. So first of all, the Timberwolf, your other beasts have +1 attack. Gonna add the young Dragonhawk, which basically makes you, you know, this minion can actually attack twice, and with all the buffs that the other beasts will give it, it will be incredibly strong. Then we're gonna add the Starving Buzzard, which is one of the cards that you might want to play early on, because whenever you summon a beast, draw another card, which is absolutely crucial to this build. And then we're also gonna add the Ironbeak Owl, or Owl. Silence a minion. This is useful for whenever your opponent has like a taunt minion out. Now, these are the basic, super basic cards to this build, and I would never do, you know, I would never go for a similar build like this without these, you know, these 5 different set of cards. Now I'm gonna add more beasts to this, but obviously, maybe you want to change them out for something different. So I'm gonna add the Direwolf, which is just a very strong one. Gonna add the Stonetusk Boar as well, because it's just a very strong one as well, and it allows you to charge right away with it, which might sometimes be useful for cleaning up the board early game. And then we're also gonna add the Animal Companion, which is just a very good one as well. Sometimes gives you a taunt, sometimes just gives you a minion that just straight up does a lot of damage. So this is it as far as the beasts go that I'm going to be using. Now that's it as far as the beast that I'm going to be using. Next up, I'm going to cover the spells. First of all, I'm going to add a flare, which is just very useful for drawing more cards and also to reveal your opponent's secrets. Gonna add tracking, which obviously allows me to actually take a look at the 3 cards at the top of my deck and pick one of them, just in case we don't get the early Unleash the Hounds, which is obviously something that we're going to absolutely need with this build. I'm also going to get an Explosive Trap. Explosive Trap, whenever your hero is attacked, deal 2 damage to all enemies, is just one of these cards that allow you to actually do a lot of damage early on to your opponent's minions, without having your own minions out on the board. Also gonna get Snipe, which is another one of these cards that basically just allow you to control the board early on. Then we're gonna get Kill Command, which is another one of these cards that also allows you to clean up the board early on. And we're gonna get a multi-shot, as well as an explosive shot. Now, I personally only have 1 explosive shot right now, but ideally you probably want to add 2 of them. So just to finish out the 30 out of 30 cards, I decided to actually add 1 card, which is the Deadly Shot, but this is one of the optional cards. There's a bunch of other cards as well that you can use. So first of all, there's a Deadly Shot, destroy a random enemy minion, which is something you can mess around with. Then you have an Eagle Horn Bow, which I personally don't even have, but we can check it out right here. Whenever a secret is revealed, gain +1 durability. Then we also have Misdirection, which is also a very strong card that you can also try and mess around with. You can try and mess around with the Novice Engineer. Where is it? Where are you? There you are. Then we're gonna get the Bloodfen Raptor, which is also something you might consider as well as the Stranglethorn Tiger. If you notice, okay, I'm going to the late game very often, but I don't really have any minions out on the board. Now, this is definitely the basic setup of this build. Like I said, a bunch of cards are optional. You can try and mess around with what you want, but in the next video, I'm actually going to cover the actual gameplay with this build. But I would advise you to actually just load up the deck builder and make these cards happen. Put them in a deck. Call it whatever you want, I'm gonna call it Beastmastery. So yeah, that is pretty much it, a relatively easy one. Now in the next video about this deck, I'm actually going to show you gameplay of this deck. So right below that like button, there will also be a written list of all the cards that I put in this deck, so you can actually, you know, play around with them a little bit more easily, instead of, you know, having to rewatch the entire video and whatnot. The next Hearthstone video is going to be me playing this specific deck, so if you're interested in that, hit the subscribe button, which is also just below that like button, or actually it's below. Is it above the like button? I don't even know. Anyway, click it, and I will see you right there. I want to thank you guys all for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! Stronghold Tournament Edition. Now, it's kind of an awkward map actually. This is one of the maps that got recently added in the new season, and obviously it's going to be around